I think we are good. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 and thank you, thank you, thank you. This is Matthew. This is Matt TV for a July 12th, 2020. And first, I just want to apologize. I want to sincerely apologize. I'm so sorry that 8 o'clock in the morning, uh, 11 o'clock in New York, noon in Woodstock, 12:30 Newfoundland. I'm just so sorry for this. I'm so sorry that whatever time of day that you're in, that you have to look at this. There's only so much. There's only so much to work with. The hair and makeup people this morning, they left. They were quite frustrated and angry with what they were greeted with on a Sunday morning. I wasn't out partying last night, I swear. Just after 8 o'clock in the morning, I know you're scratching your head from the very beginning, wondering what is he going on about? Who is this guy who doesn't know how to dress at 47? This guy right here. This guy right here. You're looking at someone who doesn't give a crap. I'm just kidding. This is Matthew. This is Matt TV, and I'm so excited to be on Facebook Live. But this episode is powered by StreamYard. And if you're not on StreamYard yet and you like to do what I do, which is converse with people back and forth and do the whole split screen, the CNN, the Fox thing, or whatever, CBC, whatever news affiliation you like to check out, it's just like that. It's just like that, except there's no hair, there's no makeup, and there's certainly no lighting. But this episode is brought to you by natural lighting, not one single bit of electricity except for the laptop here. But the lighting, it's au naturel, as you can tell. Okay, Brent's in here. That's good. That's the main purpose of being in here this morning. I'm very flexible, even more flexible than I was, say, a week and a half ago, because now I'm now unemployed. So I got lots of time. So what better way to make use of my time than to sit in my garage, be on StreamYard, which syncs in with my Matt TV page, and I can just talk to up to 9 people if I so choose. But I can only handle right now one at a time, just one at a time, maybe 2. We'll test the waters maybe next week. Speaking of next week, on Monday, I'll tell you about this right now. On Monday, I will be speaking with Krista Olson, who I believe is the president. I believe she's the president of the Fraser Valley West chapter of Crohn's and Colitis Canada. They have a virtual walk. We know that so many outdoor events, people gathering together, they're just not happening this summer unless you are south of the 49th parallel. And then it's just whatever you want to do, Scooby-Doo. Let's keep the borders closed on a serious note. But we'll talk to Brent about that in a couple of moments. And I probably just get off on a wild tangent. And I know already, before even going back and watching this, I just left you with an incomplete thought. I'm aware of that. I know. So if anyone can fill me in on what I was just rambling on about, I know it was the borders. There's no teleprompter here. This is all ad lib, and it can go off the rails quite quickly. Okay, enough fooling around. Let's bring Brent in. How many people want to hear a great chat with Mr. Brent Underhill? I do. Okay, so hang on, Brent. I know you're in here. James, I'm waiting for your James's Jukebox magical musical moment. I rehearsed that actually 4 or 5 times before coming in here, because it's very serious when you are laying down a trademark phrase like that hasn't been trademarked. You want to say it right. So when you put it on a t-shirt, you get it right the first time. Yes, check your spelling. Make sure the pronunciation or the punctuation is in the right place. Okay, enough. What time are we? Wow, 4 minutes of just complete nonsense. Okay, on the laptop, looking at the camera here, I can see myself here, a little bit blurry. Comments are over here. Brent is out in internet world, and we're going to bring in him. Okay, like I said, ad-libbing all the way. There's no rehearsal. A little bit of show prep here, but this is off the cuff, baby. Off the cuff. Okay, let's. So I'm going to divert my eyes. I'll divert my eyes just to do what I have to do on the laptop here. And the next person you see beside this will be Brent Underhill. Okay, here we go. I'm pretty sure someone told me it was wear a headband to work day. So I'm at work kind of, and I'm wearing a headband. Did anyone else get that memo? Okay, thank you for your patience. I'm just sending the invite out to Brent. He'll show up here on the bottom of my screen, and then I'll bring him into the show. But if you are, sorry, I was looking at the wrong screen here. If you're doing what I'm doing, and you want to have some fun and just connect with people from wherever they are in the world, I highly suggest StreamYard. People are into the Zoom as well. I've been a lot of Zooming during this COVID-19, but I see Brent is here, so let's just bring Brent into the program. Mr. Underhill.
How you doing? I think I've got to close you. There we go.
I like how you, in the bottom of your screen, I have MattTv and you've gone with Test. So can I call you Test during this?
This is my first time on. So.
This is your first time on StreamYard?
Yeah. You're the one that told me about it. Yeah. And sorry. There we go.
And you don't have to download anything.
No.
Excuse me. Okay. Awesome. So how are you, man? How you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Because we spoke on the phone probably I think it's maybe Canada Day. I know it was in the last couple of weeks we spoke on the phone.
Yes.
You were telling me that you just recently got laid off. Patty's laid off. So I'm just wondering, what's the stress level like in your home compared to when it was when we spoke on the phone?
It's better.
Yeah.
Am I sounding good? Because I can hear you, but I can't hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay.
I know you sound fine. The levels are good.
Okay, good.
All my audience this morning are lip readers anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. So if I do this, it's not going to help.
No. But everything is a little bit better in the house.
It is. It as bad as 2020 has been for the first half. I'm bound and determined to make up for that plus on the second half. So it's time for a new direction. It's time for let's focus on the positive and go from there, which is tough for guys like me sometimes. But it can happen. You just need to make it. So,
well, I think one of the positives that you continue to do, and Patty is helping you do this, and you have lots of followers, you have lots of people watching your show, but the Nightcap with Brent and Patty, that is something I want you to talk about, that because that's something that you do religiously every Thursday night at 9 p.m. You have United A-Holes. So I know those outlets there are definitely helping you. Just give those items a plug if you don't mind.
Well, for the Nightcap, we prep a little bit, but we really rely on a couple of things. Just the randomness of where we go from point A to try to make it to point B. And then the audience. And I say this on the show, and it's not just lip service. We've got like the greatest audience. They're fantastic. They throw out comments that by times I'm laughing so hard at the comments that get put out or the things that get observed that I missed. And it's like, that's good. That's good stuff. Or the night, I don't know if you were on that night or not. There was a night that we talked about having a subscription box, because there are thousands and thousands of subscription boxes out there. And we proposed having a box with literally nothing in it. And we expected that we could sell that to people. Now, the box itself had things printed on the inside of it. There was a purpose to it. But the whole idea was that they would get a box every month and it would be empty. And that took off like a shot. So it's things like that that are so creative that you go, man, the ideas that come out of people, like, well, you could put a coupon in. You could go to a company and say, hey, we've got this box, it's empty, but we want to put a coupon on the inside lid. So when they lift it up, they see your name, like all kinds of stuff like that. So it's the creativity that comes out of it, I think, is what draws us in probably more than anything else. I'm getting some ridiculous glare on my glasses. These were the cheapest glasses I could possibly buy, so there's no reflective properties or anti-reflective properties. So yeah, and I mean, there were two different occasions where Patty said, are we doing the show tonight? Because things had just gone sideways as of late. And I'm like, I don't know. And then she'd say, well, I think it'd be good for you. And I'm like, all right, well, let's do it. And I would go into it with like, well, whatever, we'll just do this thing. And then you'd get started and it's like, okay, why did I not want to do this? This is positive. And the same with A-Holes. Now we're going through a bit of a transition. We tried to keep it going through the whole nobody could be in the same house time. And it really is hard because if you have 6 guys on a program like this, you've got 6 different computers and 6 different connections and 6 different interpretations of what's going on because they're all in their own room. And it really just did not work for us. So we went, okay, we need to put it on hold and we'll go back to it. So we're back. I am happy to say that we have made a few changes and we actually recorded 3 episodes of what we are now going to be doing. I'm not going to give out too much, but we had a blast at Ken's house on Wednesday night. So I think we're going to come out even stronger out of this. Again, you have to take all this negativity, find out what you can change out of it, and then go forward with as much of a positive attitude as you possibly can without being, silly.
Yeah. Well, that's all in front of the camera. And I know that you have put up some links here a while ago. You do have a radio broadcasting diploma, such as myself, but I don't know how many years in total do you think that you have as a professional disc jockey at a radio station? Because for me, I'm thinking maybe 4.
Well, see, everything I did with radio was all like when I did Emery Lee, it was all just because Richard and I wanted to, and he had the freedom to do so. Things were different back then too. You couldn't get away with that type of thing now because your corporate bosses would be like, what are you doing? This guy
you'd be covered in snowflakes.
Yeah. So
just no problem.
So I think I did right around 3 to 4 years, somewheres in there, of the whole Emery Lee thing. And then I did, like, we created a character for Carlton Office Supplies because it was COSL, which is Carlton Office Supplies, Carlton Office Supplies Limited, I guess was what it was. And then it was 2001, I think was the number. That's what they relabeled it. So we created the man from Cossel, and I voiced that as well. And it was this over the top, like it was, I'm a man from Cossel. It was that even stronger. Mm-hmm. And I would go out and people would go, I heard your ad this morning. And it was either they loved it or hated it, but everybody heard it.
Nice.
That was the thing. It reached because it wasn't the same as everything else. So I've got experience in that way in stuff that I didn't get paid for.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I got paid at Carlton Office Supplies, but the radio stuff I did was sort of just because I kind of wanted to.
Well, where are you right now? Because I know we talked about getting back. I've sent you links to some places where you can get scripts and do some
yes.
stuff. Like that's something you're pursuing again. Where are you with that?
So what I've done so far, there's one of the sites called edge.com. I think you sent that to me.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, the day we spoke. So I'm on Edge, I've registered, and they do a monthly contest. So they give you a script, they give you direction for the script, you read it, and then you send it in. So I have sent one in. They will be, I think it's the 23rd or the 24th that they close the contest, and then they give first place, second place, third place. And the first place is lessons with a coach, and then second and third are like gift certificate type thing. It's all sort of promotion for themselves, which is fine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I dove right into the deep end and went, well, I'm going to record this month's ad and send it in. But I went and listened to some of all the old contests are on there. I don't know if you've looked into that or not, but all the past contests are there. So what I did was I would go to a past contest, read it, listen to my recording, and then I would listen after my recording, I would listen to first, second, and third place to see where I ranked and read all of the direction that they gave, because that's the cool thing. For first, second, and third, they say, here's why this is first place, because he did this, this, and this. But they also put on there, but he missed this, or he should have, he had too many pauses. They give the positive and the negative. So there's another spot on there where you can send in any recording and say, okay, peers, all you people that do this, tell me how I sound. And it's feedback, and you have to sort of be ready for some negative feedback. If people go, wow, that sounds terrible, there's too much noise in the background or whatever, if they're reading your room or just reading you. So I've really enjoyed it. But what I did yesterday was, there's a group I'm on Facebook. It's a private closed group. It's a splinter group from another page, and they're just a bunch of smart Alecs, realistically, but they're good people. I've never met any of them in real life. They're all just Facebook friends. So I made a recording, all comprised of comments that not each one of them, but some of them had made on posts on this page. So I picked stuff that was kind of funny, but I just dead read it. It was, if the comment was something smart Alec, I didn't read it that way. I just read it, just read it. So then I posted it and I told them, here's where I'm at. I'm looking for some feedback. The feedback was overwhelming. And one of the tips that I got from one of the YouTube channels was, you need to find out what your voice sounds like. And in order to do that, you're going to have to rely on other people. So that's what I was doing. I was asking, I put one on my own page saying, I need to get, what does my voice sound like? That's one of the hardest things to do. And what I'm getting from people is, you're very clear, you're very concise, and you're calming. I'm hearing this calming thing over and over again. And one guy said, dude, you need to be doing meditation readings, or the channels where people go when they can't sleep, they listen, because he said, your voice is very calm. And I was like, okay, I never would have pegged myself as that. And somebody else said, if you want to read some children's stories, I'll have my kids listen to it tonight and I'll get feedback from them. And I'm like, hey, I'll take all the feedback I can get. So I read 2 short stories. Like, it took a minute or less to read them. They were not long books. It was stuff I used to read to James and Michael. And I sent them to her last night. I got a message back where she said, they're going to bed soon. I can't wait. Well, I was already headed to bed, so I waited for this morning. The response this morning was, they loved it and now they want more.
Awesome. That's awesome.
And it's all practice for me. So
yeah. Well, the next thing for you to do, like another piece of advice is, just look up, go to a YouTube channel, or just go to YouTube and look for voiceover demos, and you'll see like the elite, you'll see the best of the best, and be able to listen to their demos, and just, borrow a little bit from here, steal a little bit from here, but it's obviously going to be your own. But I've always said, when I audition for stuff, it may not be right for that project, but at least I've sent something in. There's a pair of ears who have never heard me before is hearing me for the first time. So every once in a while you show up on someone's radar, and you never know. Like, I auditioned for a show narrator here a few weeks ago. All I can do is send my audition in. I have no idea where it is in the project as far as them selecting. When I did Dark Waters, I auditioned for that, and it was almost 6 months later before they were ready to settle on the narrator, right? So, but just, as long as you have a voice, just keep talking. And if right now, if children are liking the sound of your voice for stories, you already got your foot in the door, man. For me, I would probably scare them. It would have to be a horror story.
Well, the funny thing is, those 4 books that we've got, they're all, Patty got them years ago at the dollar store, and one of them's called Gruesome Stew, and they're all sort of children related, but they're, and the Beastly Pageant, they're all sort of monstery type stories, but for kids. They're not scary, but they're in that vein type of thing. But yeah, for some reason, because I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, I know this woman who's asked me because I've seen enough of her comments on Facebook, but I don't know her kids. So I sent her a picture of the books, and she's like, "Oh, they'll look fine to me." I'm like, "Okay, here we go."
Never judge your book by its cover.
Well, there you go. Exactly. And she seemed to be, well, she was fine with it, and now they're fine with it. So I'm going to do the other 2 for her today, send those off. And somebody else, for some unknown reason, said that how much they liked it, the recording, the original one I did, and said, can you read the lyrics to a song? And then she followed that up with, ooh, do Bohemian Rhapsody. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give that a try just for you. So I'm going to find the lyrics and
I'm
read
sure
them off.
James has the lyrics.
Yeah, probably printed on a CD or record or something somewhere. So
I see in the comments, James, your son is wanting to bring Mr. Lee back. Bring Mr. Lee back.
You know what? I loved doing Emery Lee. I absolutely loved it. He really existed in that world, I guess is the best way to put it, because he was so attached to CJ. It would be hard. I shouldn't say hard. It would be difficult to recreate him in any other situation. I now understand, because you'd see people stopping a television show after years of success going, why would they be? There's a point where you're like, I did that. It was a ton of fun, but I've got other stuff I want to do. So
you're evolving.
Right. If he came back, it would be for some short little thing to throw on Facebook just for the fun of it type of thing.
Cameo.
Yes, a cameo. Yes.
Okay. One final thing about the whole voice thing. When you were talking about getting the feedback on people telling you to do meditation and you have a calming voice, I think it's great, but on the inside, I'm laughing hysterically because all I can think of is #Brent. I'm like, whoa, man, Jekyll and Hyde.
Well, see, the thing is, these people have never seen the #Brent stuff. So yeah, at first when I read that, I was like, is he saying I'm boring? And then I read it and realized, no, he's saying calming. So there's an entirely different. And you know what? Hey, if I can make a living because I'm boring, I don't have a problem with that.
Exactly. Oh man, I'm so excited for you, man. I'm glad that you're getting your stuff out there and you're already getting the feedback. Like it'll spread. Like I would not be surprised if you are reading children's books for a number of families back in the Woodstock area this summer. Who knows? Right? You just got to put it out there. Okay, enough about that. Let's shift gears.
Okay.
And talk about motorcycling. Shift gears.
That's nice.
You ride a bike, and is it your son Michael that rides as well?
Yes.
Okay, just a couple of things. Because you're a rider, I'm just wondering, where do you feel safer riding? On city streets, like in a city setting, or the rural area? And you talk about throttle therapy. What is that, and where do you go? How often?
As often as possible. Throttle therapy, I borrowed from other people that I saw on Facebook, which I got it. They showed pictures of their bike and the destination they had gone to. And I think the first one was John McKenzie, if I remember correctly. He said, a little throttle therapy today. And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. That was before I ever even owned a bike. And so it popped into my head. Yeah, okay, that's what, I would say to Michael occasionally, I'm going for a rip. You want to go? And yeah, you know what? I do. And we just go. And he'd be like, we took one night. I mean, ours are only a 250. They're not a big bike, and they're a street/trail bike. So we can get onto a trail, we can get onto pavement, but they're not really great for like highway riding, just because, I mean, the max you're going to do is probably about 115, 120, and you're really, really pushing it because
that's plenty fast.
Oh, yeah. No.
More faster.
I may or may not have been on the highway with it to see what it could do. I'm not confirming or denying, but so one night he said to me, where are we going? And I said, I want to take the Old River Road all the way up to Florenceville, and then we'll go from there. So we did that. Then we crossed the river and we came back through on the old road on the back, so it takes you through Waterville and Lakeville and all those areas like that. And it was basically the route that I used to travel coming back, that I used to travel when I worked at Thomas Equipment. So we stopped and I gave him a little bit. We actually stopped where Thomas Equipment, where the building is. And I said, okay, this is the route I used to drive at like 4 o'clock in the morning after we worked the night shift. And how I didn't crash is more than I know, because I fell asleep so many times coming home. And I said, so you just imagine being in a car, windows down, radio turned up, slapping yourself, drinking coffee, and still like, nodding off on this twisting, winding road that we're about to take. So yeah, it's stuff like that. That's just to get out, and we don't listen to music. We don't have, the radios or anything. It's just you on the bike and the road. That's it. It's a head clearing thing.
Yes. When you were talking about driving back with the windows down, the music up, we now know in 2020 that you should have just pulled over and had a nap.
Yes.
Or had a nap.
Actually, that's all it would have taken. But I was in my 20s. What did I know?
Yeah.
Nothing.
You're already thinking about the party that was happening in a few hours.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, that was me in my 20s anyway. Like, you feel like crap on a Saturday morning and you're already thinking about the party Saturday night. That's when you start popping yourself. Get it together, man.
Yeah.
If you're just scrolling through Facebook, my name is Matthew. This is MattTv on Facebook Live. This is an episode powered by StreamYard, speaking with Woodstock resident Brent Underhill. It's coming up on 8:30 here on a beautiful South Coast morning in British Columbia. What's the weather like in your area, Brent?
It's rainy today, and we're supposed to get some thunder showers at some point in time. So it's kind of miserable.
Yeah. Well, we got family coming over here today. We're going to celebrate Moon's 18th birthday, graduation. But the weather out here, it's this summer. I would give it, aside from it being this global pandemic, I would give the weather here maybe C+, which is odd for this time of year in this part of the country. But it's been, I guess, seasonal, but maybe 70 degrees. I think we've maybe had 2 or 3 days over 25. You, on the other hand, probably had 25 days over 25.
We had a stretch. It was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even people who like the heat were probably saying that this is a lot of heat.
Yeah. You couldn't do outside activities. You couldn't.
Well, the good thing about that heat would probably have perhaps killed off any of the remaining COVID-19 virus floating around. So I just want to talk about that.
Here's hoping.
All the guests that have ever, been on my show within the last few months, I have to ask them, what are your thoughts? You're in the Atlantic bubble now. You have residents from different provinces traveling around. Grade the province of New Brunswick, just personally, and how you think they did with this, and just your thought on keeping the border closed for an extended period of time.
Definitely, I agree with the border closing. When you look at the amount of cases on the other side of the border, I think that we've done well in New Brunswick. I think that they reacted soon enough to say, okay, we need to start doing something about it. And that's the thing, from what I've read, is that the reaction time is what's so important. You need to do something quick. So in order to do the flattening of the curve, we all heard that, you need to say to people, settle down, stay home for now. Just stay put. It's all good. And I understand in saying that there are people, you kind of have to see both sides of the coin. There are people that say, well, this is going to affect people's businesses, finances. Yes, it absolutely is. It has. I'm living it right now.
Me too. Yeah.
But when I see people anywhere, it doesn't matter whether it's in the States or whether it's in Canada, that say, well, we're just going to have to sacrifice some people. People are just going to have to die. That's all it's going to take, because we need to have an economy. That hurts my heart, really, because they're putting lives below dollars. And that's not the society that I want to be a part of. I would rather see
part of.
What's that?
I said it's not the race I want to be. Like, we are.
Yeah,
we're a really dumb species when you think about it.
There's such a division, and that's what part of what's been brought on by all this is the division, and I see it. in social media. You see it in the news. It really is dividing us, and it's unfortunate that it couldn't be used to bring us together, because that would be a lot nicer.
Oh yeah.
You know, if we could pull together and get through this. I think scoring wise, as far as New Brunswick goes, we've done well. We need to factor in the fact that we're spread out and we're not as big a population. That does have to be factored in. I understand that as well. People say, well, there's just, you know, it's geographical and it's population based. That's good and that's true, but we still don't want to push it any further than we have to.
Yeah.
So be cautious when opening up borders, and you know, we need to proceed with caution. The problem is that people see it as an on switch and an off switch. Mm-hmm. And the minute that they say, well, we're going to relax things, people go, oh, COVID's over.
Yeah.
And they just leave in droves. You can see it when you're out and about, and you see the people that are distancing, and you see the people that go, you guys are a bunch of fools.
Yeah. Yeah, well, everyone's got to make up their own mind. I mean, there's stories of individuals from south of the border making their way up into Banff.
Yep.
By telling border agents that they're on their way to Alaska. Yeah. Yeah, we're just going to drive to Alaska. Yeah, they have no intention of going to Alaska. Like, that chaps my ass. That really, really bothers me.
At that point, what they should have said was, perfect, we will escort you.
Yeah.
And had them say, no, we're good. Say, no, that's the policy, regardless of whether it is or isn't. Mm-hmm. We're going to escort you. So which highway are you taking to get to Alaska?
Yeah. Fly him in. Should have flown in, man.
Yeah. And all of a sudden these guys are like, well, you can't do that to me. I'm an American. Well, you're not in America anymore. We are going to escort you. Now it's that, or you can turn around and go home.
Yeah.
And that would have put the kibosh to it. But then that would have hit the media, and it would have been like, oh no, the border guards lied to the Americans and threatened them.
What do you think? You're a big fan of George Carlin, the late George Carlin. What do you think he'd be saying about this situation right now? What kind of material would he be pumping out?
I will tell you exactly, because I've listened to a lot of his stuff as of late, trying to answer that very question. And just taking in the fact that he was an Entropy fan. He loved the fact that everything in nature was breaking down. That's, you know, nothing was status quo. Everything is just everything, you know, because he said, what a good thing, you know, everything in nature is breaking down, and all the systems that we have are going to eventually they're going to fall apart, and new things are going to spring up. Mm-hmm. I honestly think, from his sense of humor, that it would be, great. What Trump do today? Awesome. I can't wait to see what he's going to do tomorrow, because I think he was so disgusted with politics as a whole that he was looking forward to, and would be if he were here, to the complete demise of both parties. And let's actually do this correctly. Let's tear both parties down and start them from the ground up. And let's tell the people the truth. Let's actually put people first, so on and so forth. So you can't get there if you don't have the catalyst to completely destroy it. And if there's anybody that's going to destroy the GOP, it's Trump. It's happening now. He's losing people on his own side.
Yeah, you can. I mean, obviously what's happening down there is a complete gong show. It's the worst reality TV show that's ever been on TV. I hope it does not come back for a fifth season. That would just be not good for anybody. But politics here in Canada, you know, we have a minority government. There are governments around the world that are in chaos because the people have taken enough of their crap and are finally telling these people, you work for us.
Yes.
You are where you are because of us. We voted you in. And if you're not, going to do the work, it's time to go. I wish, where would we be right now if we had like a snap election or a vote of no confidence with Trudeau? Like, where would we be? I would be okay if, as a country, we found that he was just, the country is not being run the way it should be.
And that's another problem is, and I've had this discussion with people. Okay, I'll just say it so that people can pummel me if they want. I voted for Trudeau. Okay. Because I looked at the options and went, well, that's the one that I choose. I have to make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Voting is my right and my duty.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I don't agree with everything he's done and everything he's said. And I've actually changed my mind on some stances that I've had in regards to things like gun control.
Mm-hmm.
I've because of the Liberal government's actions, I have looked at things and went, oh, hold her now, just a second. So I'm willing to say, yes, I supported the Liberal Party. And I'm also willing to say they have some cleaning up to do in their own backyard.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you have people that are so wholly devoted to either the Conservatives or the Liberals, or in our country, the NDP or Green, whoever, that they are not even willing to have a conversation to say, okay, but let's talk about this because we know that that was incorrect, or people are making money. They're going to these events and being paid, and they're family members of politicians and whatnot. Let's have that discussion and say, okay, that's not good. We need to avoid that in the future. I'm willing to have that conversation, even about somebody I voted for, to go, you're right about this particular thing.
Mm-hmm.
But let's stop with the made up stuff. And I hate to use the term fake news, but there is some of it out there.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the real issues, and let's get that point across, like you said, to these people. Hey, you work for us. We voted you in. You don't just get to run her by yourself. We got to rein you in and say, okay, there are ways we go about this, and that's how you're going to do it. And if not, then you won't be back in the next time.
Exactly.
The problem is we end up in both here and in the States where you go, well, I gotta pick the lesser of two evils. That really sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really does.
Yeah.
So I think it's time for the system. Like I say, that's what Carlin would want. Tear it down, burn it, stomp it, and sweep it away and start over again. Yeah. But it's going to get messy.
Yeah. Rebuild it with walls that could possibly fall over in a slight breeze. One final thing, Brent. Listen, I love hanging out with you, man. It's so awesome. One final thing. Let's talk about your health. But again, this is something that you put up on your own website, and I just want to where is it here? Fitbit. You must have a Fitbit watch, and correct me if I'm wrong, but since you've had that watch, it says that you have climbed a total of, I think you got a prize or a badge or something, but you've climbed over 20,000 floors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you get something? Like, did like a little alarm go off or something?
Yeah. You get emails from them, or you'll get something pop up on the app itself, and it'll say, hey, you've achieved this particular landmark, and they move you along, and you're further in between them. But when you first start out, it's like, hey, you've done this and you've done that, and it's motivation. It's to get those people that started and they'll show you the next badge. You see it, but you haven't achieved it yet. You just unlock it. And it's just one of those. Yeah, exactly. So,
wow.
It's a motivation thing. And it very much worked for me because you can set, and I've seen people say, well, they're not accurate. All right. Okay. So what? I know that mine says on a regular work day, I walk approximately 4,000 to 5,000 steps just on my own. Mm-hmm. And it consistently says that. So let's say that it's wrong and it's actually 3,000 steps. Well, it doesn't matter. It still gives me a goal.
Yeah.
It still gives me something to shoot for. And it's not erratic. It's not like, well, geez, I was as busy as I was yesterday and it only says 1,000. Like it may be off. I'm not arguing the point that it may be, fallible, but it's consistent enough through how long I've had it that I know, all right, well, if it's wrong, it's consistently wrong. And I can still say, well, today I want 15,000 steps.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Well,
it lets you know when you reach it.
I'm thinking the individual who's like, going on about the numbers is probably your average Joe couch surfer buried in a pile of uneaten food, with a remote.
I had someone tell me once that Dr. Oz said that those step counters aren't accurate.
Dr. Frog. Oh, Dr. Oz. Listen, man, I appreciate you taking the time out to just hang out with me. The weather is great there. The weather is good here. Your stress level is down. The family's good. Everyone's healthy. And just continue to have fun with, I know you're just going to continue to have fun with the Nightcap, but do not stop pursuing voice stuff, man. I just have a feeling, you know, you're like myself. I will never stop pursuing looking for work where I can get paid just to sit down in front of a microphone and talk. So
what you said to me in our last conversation was that you were never going to stop pursuing being paid for talking. And that goes through my head every single day.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that stuck. And I'm going to keep on trying.
Yeah.
So,
are you tired of physical labor and just want to talk?
Yeah. I should do an ad. I'll sit down and write that, and then I'll throw it up on Facebook when I get it done.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for hanging out, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We'll the next time I'm home, I don't know when that'll be. It's been 3.5 years. But listen, one final thing. The flag is back in Fredericton right now.
Okay.
Go to Nova Scotia, but eventually it will be back in Woodstock. I got a friend there who wants to sign it. So maybe I'll make arrangements if anyone wants to see the flag, because it's probably been a while since you've seen it.
Yeah.
But to see something with over 1,000 signatures, like it's quite a trip, man. It's pretty trippy. But I'll let people know when it's going to be in Woodstock here in the next few weeks.
Awesome.
So, yeah. Thanks, Brent.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk later. I think you can excuse yourself from this if you want.
It says leave studio, so okay, that's what I'm going to do. Okay. All righty. Thanks, man. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Awesome. Brent Underhill, Woodstock. Excellent stuff. Okay. Just a few things I wanted to share with you. That's okay. Just a few things I'm going to share, and then I'm out of here as we approach 8:45 on a gorgeous, sunny, beautiful Sunday, July 12th, 2020 morning in White Rock, British Columbia. This is Matthew. This is MattTv, Facebook Live, powered by StreamYard. And if you're just tuning in, you just missed a great interview, a great chit chat. Oh, sorry for the spit. A little bit of spit there. Great chit chat with Brent Underhill. A few things I just want to leave you with, some numbers, and these are just thank you numbers. These numbers would not be possible without you. So within the last 30 days, MattTv has, I've reached 1,464 individuals in the last month with the MattTv broadcast, various shows that I've done. So thank you very much. 665 post engagements. That's just people making comments on the show. So thank you so much for that. And 8 new page likes and 342 individuals out there in the great internet world, in Facebook land, like MattTv. So I appreciate that. Love the live views. If you're catching this at your leisure, greatly appreciate that as well. Program notes tomorrow at 6 o'clock. That's a Monday, July 13th, which is also Darren and Derek Lasky's birthday. Peter Margerson having a birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday to that fantastic trio. 6 o'clock tomorrow, I'll be speaking with Fraser Valley West Chapter President Krista Olson. Crohn's and Colitis Canada has a virtual walk happening late August, but we're going to talk about all those details tomorrow night right here on Facebook Live and MattTv. Okay, that's going to do it for me. I'm looking forward to a great Sunday. Family coming over for some pizza, some bocce ball, and just hanging out with the honorary person of the day, 18-year-old and freshly graduated Kaya Moon Vespasiani Grant. So looking forward to that. Speaking of Grant, welcome to the family, Tanya Grant. Maddie, Lucas, welcome to the Grant family. My brother Mike getting married yesterday in Waterton, just outside Pincher Creek, Alberta. Congratulations to everyone. Enjoy the rest of the time with mom and dad. Okay, that's going to do it for me. I wish I had a quarter for every time I said, okay, that's going to do it for me. I would probably have $2 or $3 right now. Okay, I'm going to upload this on my YouTube channel. So enjoy it here, enjoy it there, enjoy it everywhere in between. And again, thank you to James Underhill for James's Jukebox Magical Musical Moments on MattTv. This is Matthew. This is MattTv. Now and always, from sea to sea.